Stop barking. Eh? I know. Hello, how are you? Let me right, I'm just AD, you are a moderator. Check you out. Did it invite you? Does it ask you? Hi, Poppy, how are you? Hello, James, how are you? It must be lunchtime, is it, there? In the voice of the man off the Maltesers app. Oh, hello. That's a very funny advert. So how is everybody today? What's the weather like in Arizona, James? I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I'm glad that it's spring is finally coming. The flowers are starting to pop out and the sun. Today we have had 18 degrees here, so it's practically summer. Good evening, Stephen. How are you? What sort of temperature have you been having in London today? Hi, Rick. Hi, Tristan. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I've had a busy day. I've been doing lots and lots of research for the videos that I am planning on making this weekend. Too hot. So what sort of temperature are we talking, James? Do you know, would it be amazing if we could just swap for a little while? So we had baking sun, you could have a bit of our cloud. Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you. Oh, Vienna. Wow. What's it like in Vienna this evening? That sounds amazing. I nearly did this live from outside, but then I slowly started to see that the sun was beginning to set, and I thought, we're going to start, and then we're just going to be sat in darkness, aren't we? But hopefully, in a month or so, we'll be able to go outside and do the Wednesday waffle. Hi, Diane. How's things? Thank you so much for finding out that information about Halifax for me. I'm going to definitely look into that one. Hiya, John. How are you? Hiya, Ben. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Good evening, everybody. It's cold in NC, is it? Yeah, we're really lucky today. Dead excited. Oh, the Lake District. How beautiful. I mean, while we're on, everybody, if you don't mind saying, when you say hi, let us know where you're from as well, because it's so interesting to find out how many people from the chat are all from all different parts of the world, and I think that's absolutely lovely. So James, he's from Arizona, and over there it's like 8 hours behind. So we're having dinner, he's having lunch. 12 degrees now. The sun has already set, but it was a sunny day. Oh, wow. Did you manage to see the sunset? I'm up for it. You are getting the weather we should be at this time of year. We're in the 90s. Wow. Shorts on then. Your girlfriend has broken her ankle in 3 places. Ouch. How on earth did she do that? Blooming heck. Hopefully you had a great day. And if you ask, I have been looking after my dad's dog. Oh, what kind of dog does your dad have? What's its name? I've got Missy here with me. She's literally sat on my feet, but you can't see her because she's too big for me to pick up and hold her to the camera. But you might hear her grunting and snoring, and she's just had a dinner, so she's fairly settled. Northwest, Stephen. Nice. Too busy to watch the sunset. Oh, fair enough. How many days are you there for in Vienna? I've never been to Vienna, but it is on my must visit list. This weekend's video. Okay, Tristan. So yeah, I've literally just finished this weekend's video this morning. I've uploaded it to the channel. I'll be scheduling it on Friday, so you can all jump on and get a notification about the premiere. And I think you're going to like this one. Hopefully. So it is an old folklore tale that's quite localized to the Lincolnshire area. However, this spirit or being, should we call them, they are also found in other parts of the country as well. So we're diving into the story, but we're also diving into the origins of where the story came from. And we're going to be walking in an in an environment which sort of resonates what the place would have been like for the people of our story. So it's a little bit different. It's a bit of a wander and it's a folklore tale, and I did have to rope in the services of my good friend Tim, who is a local history librarian, for that one. So it's done. We've had to do quite a bit of research on it, but it's finally finished and it's going to be on the channel on Sunday morning. One Take Adventures. Recently found your channel. I've been enjoying it. Oh, that's really nice to hear. Always cool when I find out people are jumping on board the Wanderlust train. She fell down the stairs. Oh, I don't know how she did it. She doesn't live with. Oh, are you thinking are you thinking, Stephen, that we might think you've pushed her? Is that why you said she doesn't live with me? It's not my fault. Oh no, bless her. That's awful. Stairs can be so dangerous, can't they? At least she's like not broken neck, at least it's just her ankle, but that doesn't make her feel any better if she's going to be laid up for a few months. She's a northerner like me, is she? Where's she from? How long does it take to make one of your videos on average? Right, this is one of them questions. To be fair, I've been talking to my family about this today, because I don't think when I set out to do this and I started making some of the more, obviously it first started out as travel, so it was fairly easy to do travel because you just turn up, you video it, you talk about it, do a bit of voiceover, easy. Now we've gone a little bit more in depth into the history and all sorts of things like that. There's so much more research, so the videos are taking me a lot longer to produce. And in theory, I've put this pressure on myself that I am building almost a documentary style video every single week, and it's normally around 30 minutes, isn't it? So, and I'm doing it on my own, so I haven't got the big production teams so I haven't got research. It's all me, really much. I mean, normally somebody in the family gets roped in to come and video for me, and that's amazing help. But generally speaking, the research, depending on the subject, if it's something I already know a little bit about, then obviously I'm one up, that doesn't take as long. If it's something I know nothing about and I have to start from scratch, then the research can take anything from maybe half a day to maybe a few days even, to, for example, some of the bigger videos like the Pierpoint video, I read the book, so that I'm a really slow reader, so that was about 3 months in the making, that video. So the research process can take quite a lot of time. Then the filming, depending on how far away it is from where I live. So I'm in Lincolnshire, so it depends whether I've got to get a train or drive or anything, so factor that in. Filming can take anything from half a day to a couple of days. And then the editing takes almost a day. And then, yeah, so I would say on average, a video can take me about 4 to 5 days. So it doesn't give me a lot of time. I do work 7 days a week. That's what it feels like, constantly working. So I'm just trying to work out at the moment whether I might have to hold back a little bit off some of those really intense research documentary style videos, maybe put some other lighter things in the middle. But if you guys have got any idea on what else you'd like to see, that I feel like if I just go wandering somewhere and just waffle, that you'll get bored. So I try and make it a little bit more interesting, but that takes time. So anyway, I'm waffling now. So to answer your question, I'm doing a video a week. There's no way I could possibly make more than one video a week, because it does pretty much take me the whole week. And if I'm not making the video, I'm thinking about the video. So that's a great question though, thank you. I could probably do a video on like behind the scenes of from start to finish, because I've never really sat down and worked it out exactly how long it takes. Right, I'm gonna stop waffling. I'm just gonna move my camera up a little bit. Okay. I'm very only just found you and working my way through your videos. They're amazing. Well, oh, thank you, Sam. That's lovely. Norfolk, it's a long time since I've been to Norfolk, but I do have a map on my wall. So about maybe 2 years ago now, I bought one of those big British Isles route planning maps. And I thought, oh, every time I find a location that I'd like to visit, I'm going to put a red dot on. So I started doing that, and now the map is full of red dots. However, what I didn't think about doing was writing what was at that location. So I'm now looking at the map and thinking, oh, there's loads of things I want to do in Norfolk, but I've no idea what they are because they just have a red dot. So now I'm starting to do it on Google Maps as well instead now. So I go on Google Maps, I've got some pins, and I've written down on Google Maps what each location is, why I want to visit, and what stories are there. So yeah, we've jumped into the modern world with that one. Can't wait to watch the new video. I hope you like it. It was one of those stories that I've known for a long time. However, I know not a lot of people in this area and outside of sort of Lincolnshire know it. So it'd be interesting to see how many people are like, oh yeah, I've heard this story before. Hello, Northman, how are you and where are you from? If she fell down the stairs, Stephen, that's one place. What's the other two places? Oh, for her ankle. Oh, you love the channel. Awesome. Hi, Simon from Derby. Nice to see you. She's from Southport. Ah, so yeah, not probably, what's that, about an hour, 2 hours from me. Are you an author? I am not an author, no. I do like writing, and when I was at school, English was my subject. That's what I was rubbish at science, I was rubbish at history, funnily enough, rubbish at everything. Art, I was all right at art, and I was all right at IT, and I was all right at English. So I've always liked writing, and I used to write a little bit of poetry, although they were rubbish. But no, I don't. I probably should write some stuff down because I'm literally spend all my day writing stuff, and then I write it for the videos, print it off, and then they end up in the recycle bin. So I'm not doing anything with those scripts afterwards. Hi, Davy D, how are you? Does Southport count as the north? I suppose it would. Would it? Yeah, it is near Liverpool. So yeah, it would be classed as the north, I would think. We could have a vote if anybody wants to vote in the chat, in the comments. Is Southport classed as the north? I think it is. I mean, yeah, it's got to be. Claire, what aspect of the paranormal do you find most fascinating and most likely to be proven true? Well, I do think, I think ghosts are fascinating. And I do think eventually we will be able to figure out what ghosts are. I know people have been researching for years. I mean, like the Victorians were absolutely obsessed with this topic. Arthur Conan Doyle, for example, he dedicated so much of his time into researching. And then you've got Harry Price as well. I mean, these people have done an incredible amount of research. So, but they didn't have some of the things that we have today. So maybe one day we'll figure out what ghosts are, because people do see ghosts, and I don't know why. I mean, some people might say, well, it's a hallucination, it's all in our minds, but when some people see the same things, there's got to be something. So I would love to know eventually what it's all about and why. Hi, user, how are you? That you put in all the work, really enjoyed it. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. To be fair, sometimes when I'm having a bit of a wobbler and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I've not even had time to do anything today, and then I read some of your comments that you guys leave, and it just gives me a little bit of a boost. So when I put those posts on and I say thank you so much to everybody for supporting the channel, I'm not just saying that to be I'm saying it because I genuinely mean it. Those comments keep me going. They're what fuels me to think, yeah, do you know what? So-and-so said they wouldn't have seen this part of the world if it hadn't been for the video, and they really enjoyed it. And that makes me feel good. So it makes me feel like my life has a purpose. Lincolnshire Cathedral is an interesting place to visit. Lincolnshire Cathedral is beautiful. I spend quite a bit of time in Lincoln. However, I haven't been inside the cathedral since I went on a school trip many, many moons ago. And there's loads of stories there as well. So I might do a video on that at some point. I'll obviously have to get in touch with them and see if I can get permission. Hi, Alan in Sheffield. How are you? No work tonight? I went to Norwich once. Oh, did you, Stephen? What did you find in Norwich? I think that actress is from Southport, Amy Lou Wood. Not sure who Amy Lou. Oh, just to let everybody know, we've got a somebody sent me an email and said, Claire, you really need a moderator in these chats, because if somebody starts saying things they shouldn't be, then YouTube can like ban me. I was like, oh, I don't want any of that. So AD offered to be the moderator this evening. We just deleted a message, so I'm not asking what's going on. You love Norfolk. You've been on the Norfolk Broads lots of times. Oh, my friend and her husband, they went on one of those boats on the Norfolk Broads. And when I saw the pictures, I was like, oh, they looked like they had a whale of a time. They were all dressed up as pirates. In fact, I'm obsessed with fancy dress. So I have a pirate costume that I lent her. So she looked, in fact, I think Adi lent her husband his pirate costume as well. So it was great when I saw the pictures of them all on the Norfolk Broads with their pirate costumes on. Oh, you're from Newcastle. I love Newcastle. People in Newcastle are so friendly. Hi, in London, England. Whereabouts in London are you from? So we've got 2 Londoners in the chat so far. Hi, British Bulldog. How are you? And where are you from? You commented on Lumley Castle video because that was in the northeast. Yes. Yeah, Lumley Castle. That was a fun one to film. In fact, we've got something similar. I'm not going to give too much away, but we have got something similar coming up that I'll be filming this weekend. I'm not telling you any more than that. This weekend's crazy. I think potentially I'm filming 3 videos. I know I set these crazy goals for myself. So one of them, it will be an overnighter. So the overnighter I'm going to film. And of course, it's got loads of history. And of course, it's haunted. So that should be interesting. But yeah, the northeast. So Lumley Castle, and then Beamish is not far away either, is it? Hi from Kelowna, BC. Barmy. Oh, nice. West coast of Canada, Steph. Oh, lovely. I've never been to Canada. It looks amazing. So are you in the same time zone as James in Arizona then, or I never know how the time zones work. Hi from London. Oh, not getting involved in that. Mods, AD, can you please block the spammer? Says user. Hi Matt, I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And whereabouts in the world are you watching from? I know some of you have already told me where you live, but I get that many places fired at me that sometimes I forget, and I do apologise if I forget where you're from, if you've already told me. I mean, I forget my own name sometimes, so. Do I have any moderation? Yes, I do have. AD is moderating for me tonight, so I'm sure you'll be picking up on this. Thank you, Diane, though. If you go to the northeast, be careful of visiting Chillingham Castle. They make YouTubers pay to film there. Ah, right, okay. So loads of people have asked me to do Chillingham. I have not looked into it yet because it's not one of my priority ones, because I like to do ones that are a little bit unheard of, or not loads of people have done it. So some of the places do want a lot of money. And to be fair, mine's only a small channel and I just don't have that kind of budget. All my money goes into petrol. And if I've got to stay overnight, the hotels, and of course the cake, because I have to have tea and cake everywhere I go, because that's, aside from your comments, that's what keeps me fueled up. So if Chillingham Castles are going to be big money, then that might be out of budget. Good evening, Peter. How are you? And Peter, whereabouts in the world are you from? Done it, Diane. Oh, thank you, Adi. Thanks, Adi and Diane and everybody else for being on the ball. Oh, somebody's got no. There's a castle in Norwich. Do you know what? Aren't we lucky in the British Isles for the amount of cool castles that we have? I mean, I even like the ruins. I know sometimes when I was a kid and I used to go and look around castle ruins on a school trip, I used to think they were so boring. I'm like, why are we stood here in the middle of a field with all these just stones? And then when I got older and I started reading the stories about things like the War of the Roses and Tudors and all that sort of stuff, and the Norman Conquest and everything. And I was like, oh, now I get it. Now I get why people come to these places, because we're actually standing in history. And the stone, I like to touch the stones as well. And I like to think, oh my goodness, who's touched this stone? Does anybody else do that when they go to a historic site? Anybody else like rubbing the walls or touching the stones? Or is that just me being a little weirdo? Just work Friday and Sunday. Oh, you're partly retiring. Oh, nice. You'll be able to chill more then soon. Would love to be a mod. To be fair, this is the first time we've had a mod on the chat, and it's only because somebody emailed me and said you really need a mod. And I tried to rope my son into it tonight, and he was like, oh, I'm really busy, Mum, I can't help you. And I was like, why? He's like, I've got a game to play on the Xbox. I was like, just kids, eh? Hiya, Chris. I'm doing all right, thank you. How are you? And whereabouts in the world are you watching from? Do you go to sleep early or late at night? And did you go to the pub for St. Patrick's? So I don't know. It depends on whether you class it as early or late. But I usually midweek will go to bed anything between 10 and maybe midnight. I normally read for hours. Well, not hours. I normally read for maybe half an hour in bed. And it's usually a research book, something to do for the channel. Or it's a ghost book or something like that. Although last night, funnily enough, I was reading a Buddhist book, James. So I don't know whether you class that as but I do get up early. I get up at 6:30 every morning, even on a weekend. And did I go to the pub for St. Patrick's? No, I didn't. But I did celebrate by having a glass of wine at home. My son went and got some Guinness for us, and I didn't fancy a Guinness. I feel like I can only have a Guinness in an Irish bar. I feel like, for me, Guinness is not the sort of thing that I would just drink at home. So I didn't have a Guinness. So I just had a glass of wine instead, and then I started singing. Oh, so it all went a bit mad. But yeah, that's the story. But do you know what? It's weird, isn't it? Because a lot of us Brits and a lot of my friends as well, they celebrate St. Patrick's Day, love St. Patrick's Day, do nothing for St. George's Day. St. George may as well just be invisible. So you're from Glasgow. Oh, wow. Glasgow's got the necropolis, hasn't it? That's on my list. I'm watching, always watching. Yeah, okay, Adi. Good. Well done, Adi. Do you read books? If you do, what are they? I read far too many books, Stephen. As you can tell, I don't know if this is just one of I've got a bookcase there that goes all the way. And I've got that bookcase there, which goes all the way to the floor. Then I've got that bookcase there as well. And then I've got a stack in my bedroom as well, by the side of my bed. So yeah, I do read books. I only really read non-fiction. That's my genre. That's what I like. But if I'm not reading non-fiction, then I like old ghost stories. So like, as you know from Christmas, M.R. James, I like Charles Dickens, things like that. But yeah, most of my stuff's non-fiction. But I read every single day. I try to make a little bit of a habit of, even if I just read one page, because I just feel like I don't like to take my phone to bed. I've got this thing that looking at light stimulating my eyes before I go to bed will stop me from sleeping. So I always spend at least 10-20 minutes reading before I switch the light off, and I find that helps me sleep. Have I been to Cannock Chase? I have been to Cannock Chase. I did do a video on that. That was maybe last year, the year before. So there was I went because I'd heard a radio article about werewolf sightings. Yeah, that was it, werewolf sightings. I thought, this is cool, I need to find out more about this. So I looked into it, and of course some of those were happening on the Chase. So then I started digging. Obviously there was stories of Pigman, Slenderman, black-eyed children, those terrible murders. That was awful. and then ghosts, and then the military cemetery and all that sort of stuff. So if you haven't seen that video, it is on the channel. It did feel a bit spooky, but it was the daytime. Hi, Foggy Mountain Witch. How are you this evening? And what is the temperature like in Germany today? What did you ask me again? Oh, James. I told you, I can't even remember what I did yesterday, so it's no good asking me. What did I ask you? I can't remember. Sorry. From Northampton. Hi, Chris in Northampton. Oh, wow, Denmark. Amazing. How far is this live stream going? So cool. So we've got James over in Arizona, then we've got Canada, we've got Germany, we've got Denmark. So cool. I'm good, thanks. I'm from the Forest of Dream in Gloucestershire. Very nice. You have a lot of books like me. I do, Stephen. And to be fair, I mean, I had this conversation on social media the other day with everyone. It was about libraries because I had to go to the library to research the video for Sunday. Luckily my friend works there, so we got to go into the secret section and look at the top secret books. Anyway, so we went in there and I thought, do you know what? I felt really bad. I was like, how long is it since I've actually been in the local library or a library? And it's because books are so cheap now, aren't they? I mean, I normally buy secondhand books. If I go to the charity shop, I'm picking up books. If I go to the antique shop, I'm picking up books. So, and a lot of these I haven't even read. I've not even started to read. And then when it's my birthday, people normally buy me books. So, yeah. Has anyone had any unusual experiences with tarot cards? That's a great question. I'm guessing you have then by that question. Do tell. It's a long time since I've had my tarot read. I used to read tarot. I've got a tarot set. Yeah, this is my tarot set. So I used to read tarot when I was a teenager, but I haven't done it since. So once I had the children, like everything that I used to do just went on hold, and I've just dedicated my life to them. Good evening from South Africa. Wow, this is amazing. How far we are going. Hi, Phil. How are you? Phil, when we went to Tenerife, and I tried to look for that horror bar that you were told us about, which was in Los Cristianos. Now we were in Costa Rica, so that would mean we tried to walk from Costa Rica to Los Cristianos. I thought it would take us about an hour. I promised AD he could have a pint every mile we went, and it got to the point where how many miles did we walk, AD? Anyway, we never actually made it to Los Cristianos. And I was in my flip-flops and I got blisters and it was dreadful. And of course, with all the pub stops, it got a little bit messy as well. So yeah, never made it to the horror bar, which I was gutted about. I kept saying, I've got to go to this horror bar. No, well, thanks anyway, Phil. I didn't buy a magnet either. I've just rubbish. Hi, David. We know you're in Wales. How are you doing? Get them likes to help out. Thank you, Alan. Yeah. So I started, if anybody's new to the channel, I've only just started doing these vertical live streams because somebody that is very up in YouTube did this bootcamp thing, and they were like, oh, you need to do more vertical live streams, and it was a competition thing to do. So I did it, and funnily enough, they sent me a form this week about what colour prize did I want, and I was like, oh, it's got to be black. And the colours were baby blue, baby pink, green, and brown, I think. I was like, oh. So I went for blue, but I don't know what's going to happen. When the box comes, I'll show you what's in it. What colour would you have gone for from that? I mean, they were really unusual colours, I thought. I thought it was going to be like black, white, red, something like that. Hi, Claire. Hope you're all well. Love the content. Grantham in... you're from Grantham. So you might like this Sunday's video, because this Sunday's video is set in Lincolnshire, and it's a folklore video. It's a mixture of this strange spirit folklore story, but it has got some truth in it as well, because it is related to a historical event that happened in Lincolnshire. So look out for that one. Local. Hi, Claire. I am in Wootton, West Midlands. I am a big Wolves fan. Okay. Matt, I did my first solo paranormal investigation at Gloucester Prison last month. Oh, wow. Matt, so you did it on your own? Oh, you're brave. Was it at night? Let us know what, did you catch anything? What happened? Love listening to your stories. We're from Grimsby. Oh, amazing. So somebody else from Lincolnshire. There's quite a lot of, actually looking in the history in Grimsby, there's some really interesting stories about the docks and everything. And I need to go over to Cleethorpes as well because somebody's told me some ghost stories about that. I have been to Avery. Ah, yes. Yeah, there's lots of, supposed to be lots of activity over at Avebury Stones, isn't there? Mod is AD. Yep, AD is the mod. Thank you, AD. I will have to buy AD a beer to say thank you at the weekend. Yeah, my ex-partner touches ancient stones. Yeah. I don't know what it is about touching the... has anybody seen that show? What's it called? Outlander. Where it's a woman from, I think it's the 1960s she's in, and she goes to this stone circle in Scotland and she touches the stones and then she time travels back into the, oh, what century? It's the Battle of Culloden. It'll come to me. Anyway, so she time travels and it's a love story and it's, and I love it. And I think that's something that happened to me because I'm always touching old stones and things when I go to places. So has anybody seen that show? And if so, do you like it? Do you read books on the supernatural and the paranormal? I do, Stephen. I've tried to organise my bookshelf into sections. So I've got like travel on one, I've got history on another, kings and queens on one, I've got all sorts of things. But I do have a little section on paranormal. So we've got ghosts and we've got, yeah. And to be fair, if anybody in the family wonders what to get me for a birthday or Christmas, they just get me another book on the paranormal. So I've got loads, and a lot of these I haven't read. But if ever somebody tells me about a ghost story somewhere, I'll have a little flick through the paranormal books and just see if they are in there as well. So some of them are for research. Richard Felix wrote a good book called The People's Ghost Stories. I'll have to have a look for that. I follow Richard Felix on, he's on YouTube, isn't he? And he's on, is he on TikTok? I'm not sure. And I think he's on Facebook because I saw this video he did the other day where he's trying to, and this is a really fascinating theory, he's trying to make some sense of the stone tape theory. So stone tape theory is the idea that sometimes when people see a ghost, it is a like a recording of something that once happened. And he said something on his video about it may be something to do with the silica that's in some of the stones. It acts as almost like, oh, I don't know how to say it. You know when they're making a movie and they put the pictures onto the film and then they project it onto the wall. He's trying to prove if that is possible to do, and that's maybe why some people see certain ghosts. So I think that's interesting. And funnily enough, one of the ghosts, I don't talk about my ghost experiences a lot, but when I was a child, I saw something that was like, couldn't understand it, explain it at the time, but there was somebody stood in the room. I was visiting somebody, I was staying at somebody's house, and somebody was in the room and they completely ignored me and they walked straight through the wall, and they were like in really old clothes, almost like, I can't describe it. Well, I could if I sat and talked, but I don't want to bore you. Anyway, so they completely ignored me. I was like, oh, they're going to talk to me, they're going to talk to me. Anyway, they didn't, they just walked straight through the wall. And from that moment, I thought, I'm wondering if it, because there was no interaction, so I'm wondering if it was, and then I heard about this stone tape theory as I got older, and I was like, that experience for me then makes sense if that is some kind of projection of something that once happened. And this was a really old house. It was in Oswestry. So is that Zippy on the bookshelf? Yeah, where is he? Here's Zippy. So I was a Rainbow fan. That's that is my grandfather's Bible that he was in World War II, and they were all given a Bible for the trenches. So it says, message from His Majesty the King to all serving in my forces by sea or land or in the air, and indeed to all my people engaged in the defence of the realm, I commend the reading of this book. So obviously all the soldiers in the trenches got a little Bible, and luckily for me, my granddad came home and he obviously brought his book, and when he passed away, I was given it. So that's very precious to me. So that's just there. That's so Zippy's guarding that for me. You been to Northumberland much? I like Northumberland. So yeah, I have. Where did we go last time? So obviously we've been up to Beamish a few times. I normally try and get an annual pass there because I absolutely love it. Where did we go? We also went to New Biggin by the Sea, and we went Lindisfarne. That sort of area. We've done a lot of some of those Morpeth. I think that's where I went last time. So I like Northumberland. It's a really nice part of the country. What's your favourite UK city, town for historical interest? Mike from Cheshire, love you. Oh, thanks, Mike. Great question. My favourite city in the UK, and I haven't been to all of them. There's still quite a lot I haven't done. I love Edinburgh. Edinburgh for me is everything. It's just got everything. So that is my favourite. And then second to that would be York, which I do go to York quite a bit. And I do like Lincoln because it's got a nice vibe, but it feels smaller because I only normally hang around at the top of the hill in Lincoln. That's where, if you don't know Lincoln, that's where the castle and the cathedral and stuff is. So yeah, so Edinburgh would be my first choice. Then it would be York. Then it would probably, I don't know if Lincoln, because I do like London as well. There's always something cool going on in London. It looks like you have a great book collection. I do, Peter. I'm very, very lucky. And some of these books I've had since I was a teenager. So the collection is just building up. Although occasionally I do get rid of a load to the charity shop because they would be falling on top of me. Which book were you reading last night? Right, I did. Where did I put it? Oh, this is it. This is what I read last night. It's called, this is appropriate for me. It's called The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down. How to Be Calm in a Busy World. So yeah, over 3 million copies sold. I've had this book quite a while. And every now and then, what I like about it is there's just little bits. So you can just pick it up and put it down again when you want. So for example, there'll just be something like, oh, they're a bit naff. I'll tell you something quick. So when blinded by anger, we make choices we later regret. Leaving the room before the bridge is burned is a sign of maturity. So it's just full of like little quotes. But the guy that wrote it, he is a Buddhist. And he sometimes puts in things from the Dalai Lama and other. So that's what I was reading last night, James. So yeah, to be fair, I'm pretty open about stuff. I'm treat you guys like my friends, really. The Mezzotint by M.R. James is probably one of the spookiest ghost stories I've read. That's a really great one, that. The BBC did a, what do you call it? Interpretation of the Mezzotint. And it was really spooky, especially the bit at the end. You can find that on BBC iPlayer, actually, if you haven't seen it. Really good, really, really good. Slightly different to the original story, but that's what the BBC tend to do. They seem to just, my brain tonight, I think that's all day full of research has just made my brain a bit, but yeah, it's really good. But I love the M.R. James ghost stories. He's such a good writer. And he wasn't actually meant to be a ghostwriter, was he? Wasn't he something like was he a professor or something? And then he did ghostwriting in his spare time for his friends, and they would all sit round and read ghost stories at Christmas. And I think he could have been a full-time ghostwriter because he was amazing. What do you like about Cheshire? Someone lent me a book once called Pit Ghosts and Pad Fleets. Wow, what a good read. Oh, that sounds good. You often hear from them miners, when you speak to old miners, about them experiencing ghosts down the pit and stuff. And I find that really interesting. But then when I went to Tenerife and did that about the pit, and I thought maybe sometimes some of these sightings that the miners experienced down in the pit could be from the gases that have been released into the air that's making them hallucinate, also being down in the dark for such a long time. It's absolutely dreadful. If you go to the National Coal Mining Museum and you go down in the pit, has anybody done that? It's so dark and it's so claustrophobic. And you're only, you're only, because you're in a museum, you're only going to be down there like an hour. But then you think, oh my goodness, some of these men and women and children were working down underground in these environments for hours and hours and hours. And yeah, I'm not surprised they saw ghosts. It was absolutely terrifying down there. Here in Germany, we have spring with a lot of sun, 16 degrees. Oh, that's lovely. So you probably missed it earlier, Foggy Mountain Witch. We've been having tops of 18 today. Tomorrow it's going back down. But today it was 18. And not that I got to see much of it because I've been in the office, but I did take Missy out for a little walk and I didn't need to put my big coat on. So winner, chicken dinner. Hi, Claire, Chris and Shelley from North Allerton, North Yorkshire. Hiya, Chris and Shelley. Off to Ripon Workhouse in a couple of weeks. Is it back open? Because they shut for winter. Yeah, it's fabulous. Are you going to see ghosts at Ripon or are you just going for the museum? Ripon's lovely. There's a really good Italian restaurant in Ripon, Valentino's, I think it's called, if you're looking for somewhere to go to eat. And they've got Wetherspoons. Used to collect. Did you? Used to collect tarot sets. I get confused with the amount of different tarot cards that are on offer. That's why I think I've got 2 sets in total. But again, haven't used them since I was a teenager. So what's your favourite set? What would you recommend to somebody getting into tarot? We do love North Yorkshire, AD. North Yorkshire is, yeah, I think it's lovely. Every time I go to Tenerife, what's Phil saying? Every time I go to Tenerife, Gail takes 4 books and reads them all and leaves them on the bookshelf in the hotel. Oh my goodness. I mean, hats off to Gail. She is awesome at reading that amount of books. I've struggled this holiday. Well, I say holiday, as some of you know, I was filming. I decided to take Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because it's not that big a book, is it? And I thought I want to switch off from work, so I'm going to read that and just chill out and go into that little world of just love it. So, and I never finished that. I had to bring it home and finish it. So to read 4 books, that is amazing. Did I have a great Mother's? Oh, thank you. Somebody sent me £5. Oh, thank you. That's really kind. I don't think I can. Oh, the Trainator. Oh, how are you feeling? Are you feeling any better? Thank you so much. I've just given that a love. Hope you're feeling a little bit better. So did I have a great Mother's Day? I did. So if you didn't see the video, because did I just put it on Facebook and Instagram? I can't remember. TikTok, I put it on. Anyway, so I said to my mum, what would you like to do for Mother's Day? And she said, I'd like to go to Hemswell, to the antique centre and the car boot. So I looked at the forecast, it was absolutely pants. And I thought, she's not going to be happy walking around Hemswell car boot in the rain. I think she only wanted to go there because she'd heard Johnny Depp's been. So anyway, I said to her, well, what about we go to an antique centre instead? So I said, there's an antique centre in Sheffield that I used to absolutely love. And then it ended up they had to close it, knock it down because the river was getting too close. It was a massive, massive building. It was like in this big warehouse. They had this wonderful tea room in the middle where they used to make homemade scones and quiche and stuff like that. It was lovely, really nice vibe. And yeah, they had to flatten it because of the river getting closer and closer. It was getting dangerous. So I'd heard they'd moved to Elscar in Barnsley and I'd not been yet. So I said to Mum, right, let's go there. That'd be nice. They've also got I've never been before. But they've also got eateries and stuff around there. So I said, we can have a little bit of a snack and we can do some antique rummaging. Anyway, we did. And me and my mum were a nightmare when we were together because we just encourage each other. I'm like, oh, that's nice. She's like, that'd look really nice in your kitchen or whatever. So we were walking around the antique centre like this with just arms full of stuff. We had to keep going back to the counter and putting stuff behind the counter. So in fact, I'll show you one of the things I did buy because it's in here. I bought this. So this is a compass. I mean, I don't know why I would need a compass in the house because it is obviously not one I would take out on a wanderlust in adventure. But I don't think you can see it. It's sort of it's got water inside it and it moves. Anyway, I thought I've got to have that. So that's what I treat myself to. And it was £22. I was like, oh. Anyway, so I treat myself to that. And when I got home, I thought, oh, I'll do a little bit of Googling and find out what it is and how old it is. Apparently, it's a replica of a 19th century one. So it's probably paid what it's worth. But I thought, oh, I've got something great here. Anyway, I still love it. So that's what I did for Mother's Day. So much about Cannock Chase. Yeah, there's a guy that's written a few books about Cannock Chase. Somebody told me that some of the stories, he knows quite a lot more about those stories. Next time, Claire, sure you'll find it. You're off in 7 weeks to a day in a decade. But if we get round to the bar, I'll take loads of photos. Ah, thanks, Phil. Yeah, take loads of photos and I'll be well jealous. I don't know if we're going to go to Tenerife again. We normally go to different places, but the problem was we'd done Fuerteventura before. AD likes to go away in February because that's his birthday month and he thinks it breaks up the winter. So, but the problem is, if you go to the Canaries, you're not guaranteed the weather. And if you want to go further afield, like, I don't know, the Caribbean or whatever, it's really expensive. So we thought Canaries. So we did Fuerteventura, weather was pants. And then we did Tenerife one year and the weather was great. And then this year, there was a storm. So we didn't get a tan. But we did get to go up that mountain, which was super cool. And it was just nice to get away for the week, to be fair, and see stuff. And have the €2 pints. But yeah, have a lovely time, Phil. I'm sure the weather's going to be loads better when you go. How many pints did I have in Nottingham? Wow. How many did I have? So I had one in the old trip to Jerusalem. Had a local ale. No, I didn't. No, I didn't have a pint in there. I had a rum and coke. Then I went to the Sal and I had a pint of real ale and I had a rum and coke. Then I went to the Bell Inn and I had a pint of real ale. Then I went to the Pit and Pendulum and I had 2 rum and cokes in there. Then I went to the Angel Brewery and I had, did I have 1 or 2? AD will remember. I've had 1 or 2 pints in there. But I'd also been to Wetherspoons before to have a little bit of did I have breakfast? No, I needed the toilet, so I went in there and I had a half pint in there. So that, I don't know, you do the math. It was it had to be done, Stephen. It was research. There is a bloke from the Midlands who did a video on Cannock Chase. Ah, interesting. I think it's quite popular now. Well, it was before. I think there's lots of those stories going around. It's almost become like local folklore, hasn't it? Hi, Trainator. Another ghost story next Sunday. So no, it's not really a ghost story on Sunday. It's an old folklore story about this spirit that was both loved and cursed at the same time. No, what could be that was loved and feared at the same time. And something happened and he got really angry, and then what he supposedly did to the people was awful. So that's coming on Sunday. So it's not really a ghost story, it's more like spooky folklore. Have I booked anything about my hometown in Aberdeen? Hi, Richard. I haven't booked anything for Aberdeen yet. Do you know, I'm not very organised this year at all. I've got a list of places I'd like to visit. I'm trying to work out time, budget, the dog, the kids. I'm trying to work it all out. So Aberdeen, when I go to Aberdeen, that is going to be one of those trips that I'm going to have to plan, and I'm probably going to have to I'd probably take a week out and maybe make my way up the country and stop at different places along the way, just so that I make it worthwhile for the channel. Arizona in the same time. Ah, so you're both in the same time zone. That's cool. And I don't think I've heard of that show before. What show we're talking about now? I'm lost. Oh, Outlander. I tell you what, if you like history and you like, it's a bit of a romance as well. If you like that sort of thing, it's really good, but it is a bit addictive. Would love you to do a video on the Banshee, maybe an island trip. Yeah, one of my best friends is Irish, and she rang me the other day and she was like, Claire, when are we going to Ireland? We need to go to Ireland and film. And I said, I know, funnily enough, everybody keeps saying it to me. And again, it's going to be one of those trips where I'm going to have to get my car, probably go over on a boat and visit lots of places, because there's so much to do there. She's from Dublin, so she's like, oh, you need to do the Guinness factory and you need to do the jail and you need to. I was like, yeah, but I also need to get permission from these places as well. So it's going to be one of those trips that's going to take some organising. But yeah, I've never been to Ireland, and I would love to go to Ireland. So, and it would be amazing if my friend would come with me, because obviously she's Irish, she knows the crack, so she would be able to help me, hopefully. Seen it, but I like stuff like Taboo more. Taboo, that was the one with Tom Hardy, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that one. Steph Carl is correct. Was that the question you asked me, perhaps? I don't know. A number of paranormal DVDs, including Richard Felix DVD. There was a poltergeist case in South Shields, I think. I read about that once. That's not that long ago, is it? I'm sure that's not. There was a case not that long ago. Was the phone ringing, and when they were answering it, the poltergeist was ringing the telephone? Is that the same one? Have you ever seen Most Haunted with Yvette Fielding? I have. I used to watch Most Haunted when it very, very first came out. I absolutely loved it. And then when all that happened with Derek Acora, I was getting a bit like, no. I didn't like the. I don't like feeling like I'm being conned, to be honest with you. So I stopped believing in it, and once I stopped believing in something, I give up. But so I've not watched it I watched like the first few series that they did before all that started happening. Book on Witches by Tracy Norman, James and I, and the English Witch Hunts in Beaver Castle in September 1613. That's a good book to read. Oh, right, thanks, Alan. I've got a few witchcraft books. I don't know if I've got that one. I'm just reading one at the minute. I've got a few books on the go. I've got reading one about what's his name? Hopkins, the Witchfinder General. That's interesting. It was quite intense. I really enjoy your videos, especially the alien UFO one. That was good. Did you like that one? Yeah, I do like me alien stories, but I know there's a lot of people out there that know a lot more about that sort of thing than me, so I try not to delve too much into it. Strange but True, amazing show. Michael Aspel, he was so cool. I love that too. So I remember watching it Friday. Yeah, he was just brilliant. Oh, thank you. Johnny Keane. Thank you for that. It's only just come up that. Your favourite horror movie, Claire? So I don't even know if it's classed as a horror, but my favourite is Jaws. That's always been my favourite. But I also like the classics. So I love Silence of the Lambs. If you can, again, is that a horror or is it like a thriller? I also love Lost Boys. That's a cool one. But yeah, I'm going to say my favourite, very, very favourite is Jaws, because I just love it, and I love them. Well, I don't love all of them. I didn't like the one in the aquarium. I thought that was a bit naff. What about you, Johnny? What's your favourite? And talking about films, the other night I sat down and watched that new Dracula. Well, it's not new. It came out in December, I think, last year. But it's the first time I got around to watching it. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely brilliant. And I am a Dracula fan. You know, I think I've watched all of the Draculas, and I was like, this is nearly going to be my favourite, I think. What was it? It's called A Love Tale. That's what it's called. And it's about his quest to find Mina. And yeah, it's a romance, but it's not that scary. It's not horror or anything, really. Not as like Dracula normally is, but it's really good. William Wallace in Edinburgh. Yeah. I did a video on the William Wallace execution site at Smithfields in London. What are your thoughts on werewolves, dogmen stories? I don't know. I mean, there's that story, isn't there, in France where there was the werewolf sighting and all the people in the town, I can't remember off the top of my head where it was. All the people in the town were like getting slaughtered, and they linked it back to this lord, and then people had seen him walking on his 4 legs and things. I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know. I think it's more folklore, maybe, but I don't want to dismiss it completely. I don't have enough evidence, but some of the stories, like that one in France, was really got me thinking. That hill is so steep in Lincoln. Yeah, it is, and very dangerous when it's icy. Oh, James got a joke. What's the highest position in a paranormal corporation? Head of the Ouija board of directors. Hey, he's here all week. Well done, James. You're going to Hampton Court on Saturday, Chris. I love history, and that'll be lovely. I think I went there as a child, but I don't remember it. But and that's haunted, isn't it? Is it Anne Boleyn that's meant to haunt Hampton Court? And Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, I think. I'm sure if you're doing a tour, they'll tell you. M.R. James was a professor at Cambridge. Yeah, I thought it was something like that. What did I call him? What did I say? Well, I can't remember. Yeah. Fascinating, really. London tube stations are often... Oh, yes. I've got a bit of a thing about the tube. I just like going on it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a northerner and it's totally novelty to me, because the public transport system up here is pants. So the tube is great, and I'd love to go wandering around all those closed old tube stations. As part of a newcomer's guide to the paranormal at Gloucester Prison, it was a bit of a mixed night. Oh, right, okay. That sounds fun. Missy, your dog. Yes, Missy is my dog. She's actually gone now. She's disappeared. Valentinos are excellent. Is that, yeah, in Ripon. Good evening, everyone from sunny Lancashire. Hi, Lenny. How are you? Stephen Hall's in a few TV hours. Talking. How many bottles of wine have... Oh, thank you, Dave. Ha, ha, ha. Aren't we funny? I have had no alcohol today, Dave. Funnily enough. I am being good. I did have 2 glasses of wine last night because it was St. Patrick's Day. But I've not had any tonight. I wanted to be professional. Right, so I'm just sorry. I'm sorry if I missed you. I'm just getting through these comments. So Mark, Wakefield, West Yorkshire has a pitch. You can go down and it's free. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The National Coal Mining Museum. When I went down there, I went over there when I was researching for the pit disaster stories, and met a chap in the library there, and he was so knowledgeable. Really, really grateful to him. And the lady that worked at the library, she was brilliant as well. So if you ever want any information on the pits, they've got books up there and documents from way, 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 way back, from all over the country. Take your mum somewhere nice, because I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I'm really, really grateful to still have my mum. And that's why I thought, well, when it's Mother's Day, I know I don't, not just on Mother's Day, but we always try and do something together on Mother's Day. She said last year I went to the garden centre, and she went, I don't want to go to the garden centre anymore. She says, because everybody's in the garden centre on Mother's Day. So that's when she was like, oh, I want to go to Hemswell. There's a pit in Beamish. Yeah, there is a pit in Beamish. I think it will be late. Check that restaurant out. Right, well, if it's late, yeah, it might be too late for the restaurant. You can't get lost with that. Oh no, with my these messages I'm reading are way back then. That looks like a great compass. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, he did get a tan. He just has to walk past the sun and he gets a tan. Beamish in Newcastle coal mine. Oh, Benidorm, just before Christmas for the Fancy Dress Festival. I've never been to Benidorm, but I do like fancy dress. Always like fancy dress from being a kid. What is your tattoo of? Oh, I've got loads of tattoos. So that one is a raven. And I've got one on my arm that's Memento Mori, which is a skeleton meditating. Memento Mori basically means live life as if you're going to die, which is what we should be doing. Then I've got a tattoo on my leg, which is of a compass and a map of the world. And then I've got a back tattoo of a mountain range with birds and things flying on it. That's a cover-up, actually, because I did have a dinosaur print, which I got when I was about 15, and yeah, didn't age well, that one. Zippy is still there. He is. Cosford Air Museum is haunted. I think somebody else has said that. Where's Bungle and George? Well, funnily enough, Zippy is actually from the charity shop. So I was only able to buy him. So yeah, he's a bit like, he used to sit in my car and he was like my lucky charm, but now he sits in here because he was starting to lose colour. Clodden Battlefield in Vanessa's. Yeah, I've heard there's ghosts up there, isn't there? There's a lot of death up there though. I will straighten Zippy out. Stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just going. Sorry if I've missed anybody. You were overwhelmed by the valley you visited in Tenerife. Yeah, it was amazing. I said to my my friend, it was almost like, I've never been to Costa Rica, but it's imagine how Costa Rica would look, because I think that's where they filmed Jurassic Park, didn't they? We recently watched the Eam video and you caught me on. No way! Oh, Andy, I caught you on video. It was the bloke crossing from the shop to the silver Audi and Nottingham. I went, oh my goodness, what a small world. How mad is that? I hope you don't mind me catching you on camera. If you want me to blur you out, I can do that. Oh, that is, and that you work at the Old Trip. That's weird. That's really weird. Small world. Most battlefield I've ever been to in the UK. Really? What, Clodden? Aliens and UFOs. Yeah, I've got a good book on that. Let me just show you. So this is a good one. I've had this since I was, well, I will tell you what year it was produced. It's the UFO Complete Sightings Catalogue. So it hasn't got, it says Complete Sightings, but it's only got from obviously when it was 1995. So I would have bought this in the 90s. So yeah, this is called the UFO Complete Sightings Catalogue, and it's got a little bit of a background. Although, funnily enough, the Tenerife one wasn't in here, the Canary Islands one. So it's not the complete sightings. Hi, Explore the Unknown. How are you? Oh, you like all the videos. Oh, thank you, Peter. I have a poltergeist and shadow man that live with me in Wakefield, plus other things I catch on film. Oh, Mark. Do you know why? Do you know why they're hanging around? Does it happen all the time? Jaws is sort of a horror film. Yeah, I think it is, because there's blood in it, isn't there? So another series I found interested in the 80s was Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World. Not sure if I've seen that. To look out for that. I only watched Christopher Lee as Dracula. Yeah, don't know if you saw that little video I put on the other day. Went to the Media Museum in Bradford, and they've got a very small exhibition, but they've got the fangs of Christopher Lee, what he wore in Dracula. And it was really interesting because they had like a little tube at the back of them, which is what he would put, not him, but the makeup artist. They'd put the fake blood in, and he had to just push his tongue up to the roof of his mouth, and then the fake blood would spurt out. It was really cool to watch. If you haven't seen the video, I've put it on somewhere. You can have a look. Night Watch with Michael Parkinson. That was on Halloween, wasn't it? People were phoning in and they really believed it, didn't they? Dracula arrived in Whitby, he did. Being unnatural isn't everything it's cracked up to be. Being unnatural isn't everything. I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. I was a werewolf, but yeah. Ooh. I watched The Exorcist when I was a kid and it scared the hell out of me. Yeah, it did me as well, Chris. I was convinced after I watched that movie that I was going to get possessed. And then when you watch the documentary years later about how they made it and you see the pea soup and you're like, oh, it's maybe not as scary as I thought. Over the past few weeks, I've been watching Ghost Hunters International on YouTube, and some of the evidence the team picked up was phenomenal. Ghost Hunters. No, I've not seen that one. To be fair, I'm so busy making stuff for this channel that I very rarely watch anybody else's channels. Hey, Sydney, Australia. Amazing. What are you guys doing today? Look at me trying to do an Aussie accent. What are you doing today? And what is the weather like? Just make us all jealous here in the UK. Although we have had 18 degrees today, which is practically summer. Christopher Lee's awesome, or he was awesome. I'm a northerner, but your accent is different to mine. I think mine's a bit of a complex accent, to be fair, Trainator, because I was born in Yorkshire, lived in Yorkshire for a bit, now in Lincolnshire, and then I've got my telephone voice, which I mix in as well. So, and my parents were from Manchester, So I've got all sorts of, my grandparents as well were from Manchester, so I've got all sorts of accents, I think, going on. G'day, mate. Caves are renowned to be haunted too. Have I ever been in a cave? I have been in a cave. I don't know if you'd class them as a cave. We went to those ones in Mallorca. No, Minorca. Went to those ones in Minorca in October and did the burial chamber things. What other caves have I been in? Well, yeah. Have I been in any others? I don't know. Would love to see it. Right, okay, I'll try and get Missy. She'll come in a minute. Come here. Right, I'll try and get her on camera. Come in. Come here. Hang on a second. There she is. There she is. Oh, she looks sad. There you go. Oh, so there you go. She being a bit. Oh, what have I done? She is in the video on Sunday, so you can see her then again, if you wish. Right. Have a great rest of the evening yourself as well, Ben. Christopher Lee in Lord of the Rings. I've not watched all of Lord of the Rings. Oh, just trying to straighten up. Oh, that's what happens when you take the camera off the thing. You hitting the homemade vino tonight. Oh, what have you made? My mum used to make nettle wine. Right. Christopher lived till 93. It's a great age, that, isn't it? And actually, who was I looking at the other day? Dick Van Dyke. How well does Dick Van Dyke look? He's like, is he 100 now? He looks amazing. Catherine Howard is meant to be seen running up a corridor screaming. I thought, yeah, Catherine Howard. Henry locked himself in a room and would not talk to her about. Yeah. My daughter has her tattoo studio in Harrogate. Oh, does she? Ah. You'll have to, I'll have a look for that. Hex. I remember that. Hex. It's pretty easy to remember, isn't it? I'll have a look. I could do it. I feel like this one I've had done, and I like it, but I just feel I need something around it, maybe. Have I tried a spirit? I did a Ouija board when I was a teenager. I am not doing one again. Have you ever been to the Black Country Living Museum? No, but I would like to. Here's an interesting question to do with Dracula. If he is in his coffin with the lid down and nobody around, how does he know when it's dark? Has he got an alarm clock? That is a very good question. Maybe, does he have a butler? But it's a very good question. I say that she was a young girl, so none of it was her own. She was young. And was it Pontefract Castle that they found the letter? Good question, Sam. Good point. Yeah, it is a good point, Sam. Been a lot of UFO sightings in the Peak District. Yeah, there have. In fact, when we were driving back from Manchester Airport a few weeks ago, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, do we go motorway or do we go scenic route? Which you can't really see anything at night, can you? But I was like, well, if we go scenic route, we get to drive over the Stocksbridge bypass. And I was like, if we drive past the Stocksbridge bypass, and it was sort of getting towards like 2:30 at this point. So I was like, and it was really, really foggy and really, really spooky. And I was driving, and I said to Aidy, will you just make sure you keep looking out the window and see if you see a UFO or see if you see a ghost or anything? And then I was driving, I'm thinking, oh, I hope I don't see anything in my rear view mirror. Anne Boleyn is meant to haunt a few places. She is, isn't she? It's funny how these Tudor ghosts get about. Are there any stories in your area about ghostly hitchhikers where people pick up a hitchhiker and then at some point the driver looks over to them during the conversation and suddenly they disappear? There was one in the Lincolnshire Airfield videos, I think, that we did. There was a hitchhiker on that. Well, that's a great... In fact, James, I might do a little post out about that, see if anybody else that's not watching the video tonight knows about that, if anybody's had any experiences. Because road ghosts absolutely fascinate me. Have you read Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock? No. Evening from Sheffield. Another Sheffielder in. Enjoyed your videos you did in Sheffield. Yeah, it's great. I'm definitely going back to Elle's car. It was fab. if I lived in Sheffield, I would be spending a lot of money in Nell's car. Well, it's Barnsley now, isn't it? But when it was there. Mysterious. Well, I'm just scrolling down. If you want a serious answer, it's because his is out. Alright, that's not for me. Leave it on the vid. No need to blur it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this. Yeah. I worked at the Old Trip about 20 years ago, and the Bell from Nottingham originally, but living in. That's amazing. Did you see any ghosts when you worked there? Did you ever see the XFiles? Yes, absolutely love the XFiles. Brilliant show. In fact, I have got a poster, but I want to get it in a frame. Oh, it was XFiles was blooming brilliant. And it was at the time when I think I was at school when the XFiles came out, and I used to wish that I was Dana Scully. I think I dyed my hair slightly red at one point. I just thought I just want to be her. Missy is cute. She is. Saw a video once from Stonehenge showing a ghost of a small child by one of the stones. Ooh. Every time I've been to Stonehenge, it's been so busy. Me from Sheffield. Oh, loads of Sheffielders in. It was St. Boltoff's, the demon. Yeah, I've been to St. Boltoff's. That was we did that Halloween. It is, it was a bit creepy that. I tell you what creeped me out was the fact that all the ground was cracked. So all the graves were like wonky and yeah, and I thought, oh, it's almost as if something's got angry and the bellies of the earth have ripped it apart. But it's probably more to do with subsidence. Subs, I can't say that. Right. I'm gonna end off soon, I think, because we're hitting over an hour, and I'm sure AD moderating is ready to go and have a cup of tea. You've seen Christopher Lee in The Howling 2 and The City of the Dead. I don't know. Sometimes no, it doesn't ring a bell. Then I'll have a look. Go to Barnborough Castle, Claire, next year. Yeah, I'd like to go there. Didn't they film some of? Did they film the Transformers there? Or was that? Well, did they film Transformers there? Was it Harry Potter film there? I'm going to leave AD. Was it to do that? Chillingham Castle. Oh, is it? What? Chillingham Castle? Do you like watching paranormal investigations on YouTube? Again, I don't watch a lot of other YouTube channels because I'm blooming busy. I'm too busy concentrating on my channel, and sometimes I don't want to be influenced by somebody else's channel and then think I've copied in my channel. So I don't really watch a lot. AD, it's not St. Patrick's Day today, my love. That was yesterday. So if you didn't have a Guinness, you've missed out. Thanks again for the live. It was fun as well. Yes, thank you, everybody. I did have some things written down that I was going to talk about, but we've gone over an hour, so maybe I will bring them up next time. I'll try and do a few more Wednesday waffles if everybody is up for that. Give me a thumbs up if you want more Wednesday waffles. Can't promise I'm going to do it every week, but it's nice to catch up with everybody, and it's nice to know what everybody thinks about the videos, and if anybody's got any suggestions of things they were right. Thumbs up from David. Yep. Excellent, Chris. Thank you. Oh, nice. Cool. Right, I'll try and do another. I can't remember what I've got on next week, but I'll let you know. Oh, thanks, Johnny. The guy had used it to store his antiques, and he charges people to film there. What? Chillingham? That's a shame. Oh, thank you. And that was what I was going to say. I'm nearly out of water bottles, so I think I've only got 3 left now. So if anybody does want one of those Wanderlust Way water bottles, just drop me a message and I'll sort that out. They are £19, £19.99, including the postage. They're really solid though. So I think I've got 3 left, and then when they've gone. I just did them as like limited edition ones. More Wednesday waffles. Yeah. To be fair, it's been nice not to actually sit and write a script. It's just been nice to get to know you guys and have a little chin wag. So yeah, thank you everybody. I hope you all have an amazing rest of the week. So the folklore video will be going live on Sunday at 10 o'clock in a premiere. I will be dropping a little reel about it. What day is today? Wednesday. So Thursday I'll drop a little bit of a reel telling everybody a bit more about it. And then this weekend I'm filming. I'm going to be boom, 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 filming lots of videos. And I'm going to be filming, hopefully, a members only special video as well, because I want to make sure those members that are paying their $2.99 a month feel like they're getting something for the money. So yeah, there's going to be a members only video, a new one, hopefully coming on from the filming that I'm doing this weekend. But I'll keep you posted anyway. So I hope to catch the next live stream. I look forward to your next video. Yeah, Ace, thanks everybody for joining me, for giving some time out of your day on a Thursday. Oh, we're all friends here, David. That's what I like about this. It's really nice. Alnwick Castle is where they film. Ah, right, Alnwick Castle. So what? Where was Transformers filmed then? Was that filmed at Barbara? Anyway, yeah. Thank you, everybody. And Alan, I'm not promising for next Wednesday. I need to check the diary first. But if I'm not doing anything, then yeah, it will be next Wednesday. But I don't want you sat there waiting and then it not happening. So I'll let you know. And yeah, next time the weather's good and it's 7 o'clock and it's still light, we'll do it in the garden. And we can have a few bevies, or we can maybe fire the barbecue up, and yeah, that'd be fun. So thank you everybody, take care, have an amazing rest of your evening, and I'll see some of you in the premiere on Sunday. All right, take care everyone, bye. And now I don't know how to end it. Yes.